Hey friends, Shayla here. So it is time for another Black Dagger Brotherhood reading vlog. So if you are not familiar with this series, I am reading through the Black Dagger Brotherhood series for the first time, and these are my organic kind of reactions. So there will be spoilers for the books, at least mild spoilers, at least, because I'm going to genuinely react to what's going on within them. So if you're looking for spoiler-free reviews, these vlogs are not those at all. And I'm going to warn you right up front. And also, if this is the third episode, so if you want to start at the beginning, here is whichever side, I think it's this one. I'm going to leave in the cards the first round of all of this. And this is just a project that I've slowly been working on. I enjoy it. You guys seem to really enjoy these reaction vlogs. So last night I started Lover Unbound by J.R. Ward. This is the fifth book in the Black Dagger Brotherhood series. So yes, if you don't want spoilers for this book, like, you gotta go away, because there's crap that's already happened and I need to talk about it. Vicious is the scribe virgin's son? What the crap is up with that? And you know, Toxic Daddy didn't do any favors here, and I'm just kind of mind blown. And like, I don't even know what to do with this, because now that she's revealed herself as his mother, she wants to pimp him out to, you know, the what are they called? Like, the women that the Brotherhood call, like, when they need to feed, when they don't have a mate. And now that a bunch of them are getting married, like, it's getting kind of slim, and the scribe virgin wants to bolster up the Brotherhood. And so these women are pure and chosen, and now she needs Vicious to, like, impregnate them all so they can keep the Brotherhood going. And yeah, it's kind of a mind-blown thing. I just barely finally read a chapter from Jane's perspective outside of the prologue, so I don't know too much about Jane yet. And she's supposed to be the romantic interest, but she is not the chosen. So this is going to be an adventure. And I have a feeling Vicious is going to rebel against Mommy and go after the woman that he wants. And, you know, we love to see a man sticking by his woman. Like, we love to see it. But at the same time, like, he has a responsibility that he's committed to now. And yeah, this is just, it's going to be a ride. And I'm going to kind of probably be throughout this vlog, at least with this book. So fair warning in advance on that, because I'm already feeling that way. So when I have another update, we'll talk. I've read a little more in Lover Unbound, and we've officially kidnapped Jane from the hospital. This is going to be a complicated mess, but man, I'm having a great time reading it. So, a couple of things. We have the bisexual feelings that Vicious has for Butch that have been kind of showing themselves again in this book. And then we've got him having a moment with Butch in front of Jane, and him realizing that Jane is who he wants and not Butch. And that whole moment was really interesting, like, very well done, like, in the book. And it just made me feel like this is all for a purpose because of who Vicious is. And Mommy Dearest isn't going to be happy at all. But I have a feeling that Vicious was never supposed to be the primale or whatever they call him. It was always supposed to be Fury, because Fury is also pure, where Vicious isn't because of the nature of his upbringing. So yeah, I have a feeling it's going to be Fury and not Vicious, and I'm okay with that, honestly. And yes, I'm really loving the dynamic between Jane and Vicious. They just kind of had a moment where he just asked her to keep touching him, and she's like, no, Stockholm Syndrome. Like, I love the reality that peeks through in J.R. Ward's writing. That's not something you always see in these kinds of romances. And so I'm really appreciating the fact that her non-vampire characters always seem to be very grounded in reality and challenge everything that's happening, at least within their minds. Like, they challenge what they're feeling. And I like that that's happening, because It's very easy in these kinds of books to just sweep all that under the rug and suspend disbelief, just suspend reality. But the fact that they're so grounded in reality makes me really, really happy. So I'm really excited to see what's going to be happening in the next little bit in this one. I'm really enjoying it. I like this series a lot, guys. This is becoming a whole series on my channel because I'm enjoying the book so much. But I still can't get over the fact that the scribe version is his mother. I'm having a moment with that. I still am not over it since I read it last night. And yeah, it's an adventure. We'll put it that way. Alrighty, so it's been hours since we've chatted. I've been a little on the busy side today. So I'm now a little over 260 pages into Lover Unbound, and I am loving this so very much. Jane and Vicious have really great chemistry on page, and so they are obviously really fun to read about. I like seeing a softer side of Vicious, but he's also very honest and candid with Jane and explains the darker parts of him to her, and I really appreciate that because I was afraid that he would change too much once she entered the picture, but he hasn't. He's still very much been Vicious, and I really, really enjoyed seeing his progression. The other thing that's happening within this book is that we're getting a lot of Fury, and I think his book is next. So we'll be talking a lot about Fury in the later half of this vlog, but Fury kind of had an incident in this book, and Jane was able to help with said incident and the reasons as to why and what's going on. And I think the whole Primal situation with Vicious is going to end up transferring onto Fury. That's just what logistically makes sense for how this book is going. Because Fury needs a purpose right now, and I think that's gonna end up being his purpose. And obviously, he's a very worthy male to be a Primal, so I really think that's where this is gonna head, because there's no way Vicious is the right fit for the Primal, as we're being introduced to the chosen one of the Primal, I guess you could say. Her name's Cormia. We're getting to know her within this novel as well, so I really think she and Fury are going to end up being together. That's just what my gut is telling me with the trend I've been seeing in these books. But yeah. So the other person that we're seeing a lot of right now is John Matthew. And I think we might have had him introduced to his future mate as well. And John Matthew is still waiting for his transition. He's very frustrated with all of that. And so they end up at Zero Sum, the club that these books are kind of centered around. He ends up there with a couple of his buddies who have transitioned. And he has a run-in with security, and that's all I'll say. And yeah, I really think that's going to be a thing. And honestly, I'm here for it. I totally see it. But I'm pretty sure we're either going to get John Matthews' transition in this one or in the next book. I really think it's going to happen sooner rather than later. That's kind of how I'm feeling right now. I'm really loving it. We're amping up to sexy times. I'm ready for it. Give it to me. I like it this much. But I really want to see how that ends up playing out on page, because Vicious has certain tendencies in the bedroom. Jane has never experienced those kinds of tendencies, but she's already kind of falling into a sub-routine, I guess we could say. And I'm just really interested to see how J.R. Ward's going to play it, because that could definitely affect my enjoyment of this, because I'm okay with that kind of a scenario, a BDSM kind of scenario. If you've been around this channel a little while, you know that. But yeah, I'm interested to see how she plays it. It's going to be interesting. All right, so time for an update. I am now about 335 pages into this. So I've read another 60 to 70 since we last chatted. And yeah, basically as soon as I made the last clip, sexy times happened and John's transition happened. So the things I was like anticipating happened like as soon as we talked. And so I kind of kept reading. John's fully through his transition now. And, you know, there was the moment to sexually seal the deal kind of right after the transition, after the transition. And he was with the chosen Layla, who's been a helper to the Brotherhood for a while now. And it's one of those things where, because of his rape from when he was a teenager, as soon as she touched him, he got triggered into a memory and basically shut down. So we're dealing with his PTSD with all of that. And there was a moment just barely where he and Z, or Sadist, Z kind of has his back about the whole thing. And I loved seeing how that went down. I mean, of all the brothers, he's the only one who would understand why that would happen for John. And no one knows but him. And I don't even think Tor knows. Though who knows where Tor is right now. But anyhow, it is just so good. I love it so much. And I loved the relationship between V and Jane. And what just happened with them was so sad. I was on the verge of tears, and it just hurts my heart so much. The Scribe Virgin's a beast. I don't like her, but I fully expect V to challenge it and go back and take Jane. I mean, we still have like 160-ish pages in this book, so there's time for that. And yeah, I still am calling it that Fury is going to be the Primal instead of Vicious. So I may be Boo Boo the Fool, but I think that's what's going to happen. Because, yeah, there was only one real kind of like BDSM moment just before he wiped her memory and took her home kind of situation. I've read better, I guess you could say. But it wasn't like bad. It was well done for what it was. I do think I guess for V's character, that situation made sense. So I'm going to leave it at that. I'm not going to get into details of the lifestyle because, one, I'm not in it, and two, I've just read about some of it. So anyhow, I'm going to get back to reading. And I'm still thoroughly enjoying this. The plan is to at least finish this today. I might start the next one today as well. I do have to go on site to do some wedding hair this afternoon. But other than that, I think we're good. So I will check in with you guys in a little while. Okay, so I'm right on two accounts. We have met John's future partner. It's going to be the security guard from Zero Sum. And I like it. I like how that looks for me right now. Like, I'm just here for it. And then I called that Fury's going to try to be the Primal and let Vicious be with Jane. And I'm so excited. The whole dream sequence was really, like, sexy, but a little bit, like, possessive and weird at the same time. So I don't know how I feel about it. And Jane panicking and thinking it's Manny and not V is obviously going to be part of the conflict in the rest of this novel. So this is all going to be interesting. I'm going to just check in with you guys once I finish. I've got about 100 pages left, so there's no sense in checking in, every chapter end to tell you what I think. So I will let you know my final thoughts. All right, so I just finished Lover Unbound, and this ending contained the loophole of all loopholes. And a part of this, like, I felt like J.R. Ward could have just gone the extra mile and fully restored Jane into her body because her body hadn't started to decay or anything. So I felt like it all happened so fast to a point where it could have worked, where she could have still been in her body. But I guess I understand why that didn't happen. And, the whole sacrifice thing was well suited. Fury, I really like how that has started to bloom. and I'm excited to see where that's going to go. I'm pretty sure Fury's book is the next book, so I'll be picking that up in short order, obviously, because we're doing another episode of this vlog. But all in all, I still enjoyed it. Solid 4. Nothing's taken book 3's spot for me yet. Book 3 is still my favorite, though book 4 is a close second. The dynamic between Jane and Vicious was really nice, but again, it was kind of rushed rather than really developed over time. I prefer when they're a little more developed. Like the previous 2 books are characters that we'd been following throughout the series at that point, so we had time seeing them all together, developing feelings, all that kind of stuff. And this was just very, like, thrown in the mix. And so for Fury's book, you know, we're at the beginning of their story, and I'm interested to see how well that's going to play out, and being the Primeval is going to play out for the relationship aspect of all of that. It's just going to be really interesting, and I'm here for it. So yeah, the next time you see me, I'll be talking about the next book in the series. I can't read the title from here, but I'm pretty sure it's Fury's book. So anyways, that's it for Lover Unbound. Let's talk about the next one. Okay, I'm now back, and I have started Lover Enshrined. Fury has some issues that we need to deal with, and we're getting a lot of John and a lot of revenge. So far, so good. Though there was kind of a sexual thing between Cormia and Fury at the end of the previous book, and now they're back to not doing anything together. So I'm very, very confused. And yeah, it's just going to be an adventure. And I'm really interested to see where this goes. I mean, it's Cormia's birthday and Fury isn't even around. So I'm like, come on, dude. It's her birthday. Spend time with her. So anyhow, check in with you after I've read a little more. Things are super intense right now. Fury's finally realizing that he's wanted Cormia for a long time, because he was getting the whole mine vibes before he was even Primeval. And he realized that he hasn't taken her because that means he has to take them all. And so he's just still kind of dealing and grappling with that. And so I've had the really sweet part where she like brushes out his hair and takes his vein, and that's all cool. And then they get interrupted and he like freaks out about it. But the other thing we're dealing with is John Matthew right now. We're dealing with him and his feelings for Zex, which I am so excited for that book when we get to it, because each step of that thing is really enjoyable. But I also just dealt with the thing in the locker room with Lash, where Quinn basically tries to kill him, and the reasons why. That was so like gut-wrenching to read. But man, J.R. Ward did a fantastic job of making it feel real. And that makes it hard to read, but at the same time, I have to admire J.R. Ward for the way it was written. So yeah, that's what we're dealing with. John just started cleaning up after the whole Lash thing, and I think we're gonna go back to Fury now for a little while. But yeah, I'm very much like wholly invested in all of this. Way more than I probably should be. So I'm about 130 pages in, and yeah, it's an adventure. I'm still really enjoying it, and yeah, time to dive back in. Okay, so a couple of things. One, I'm mad at Fury right now because he just needs to act on his feelings. His feelings are not wrong. Ugh. We know he eventually will, and John Matthew is still a precious being. I love him so freaking much. But that's not the main reason why we're here. One thing I haven't mentioned with this one is the previous book, we kind of took a break from the Lessers and the Lesser Society and things, and we're revisiting that in this particular one. And one of John Matthew's friends is very connected to the Lessers in a way that we didn't know until this book. And so now it's going to be really interesting to see how it all plays out and what's going to happen next. So something in particular has just happened, and it's upped the stakes a lot. And yeah, so a lot's going on. I just don't even know what to do or how to deal. So I'm just going to keep reading and hope that I get the answers that I feel like I need. I am in the land of frustration with this novel. Like, I think the biggest thing that I'm annoyed with this one is the introduction of the wizard, or the little voice in Fury's head that says, oh, you don't deserve any of this. Like, it was such an unnecessary plot device. Like, we already knew Fury had insecurities and stuff because he lost his leg and all those kinds of things. Like, we already knew that. We didn't need this little demon voice in the back of his head reminding us that he feels that way. Like, it was a choice. I don't love said choice, but that's that. Everything else is pretty high stakes, and I was wrong. It was not Quinn, it was Lash that is the son of the Omega. And that's all going to be really interesting to see how all of that plays out. But I have to say, that makes way more sense to me than Quinn. And now we're going to kind of get the fallout from what happened with Quinn and Lash and see how all that goes down. The biggest thing that just happened is Zaydas finally called Fury on all his crap, and praise bless twin brothers, because we definitely needed that. And I am very much ready for more to happen. And I hate that Fury didn't let things happen with Cormia when they were happening. Oh, it's like ultimate frustration. So I am at frustration station with this book. And yeah, I need to see what's going to happen. But frustration station is real, and you all had to know. All right. Change of location. It's pretty late at night. My husband is very much asleep upstairs, and I don't want to bother him, so I've moved down here to our living room area. I'm now about 360 pages in to Lover Enshrined, and I continue to be frustrated with Fury. Everything going on with John and his buddies is all very high stakes at the moment. And so I appreciate the high stakes nature of it. And that's really the primary storyline I'm really enjoying. And I'm very much interested to see how J.R. Ward's going to dig themselves out of this hole with Fury and Cormia. Or Cormia, I'm not sure where the emphasis should be on that one. But yeah, it's going to be interesting. I don't know if I'll check in again tonight. It'll depend on how quickly I get tired. I am going to read a little bit longer, and then I'm going to let my eyes rest and just watch some TV, try to sleep again. I did try to lay down and get some sleep, and I was more awake than before, so that's kind of where I'm at. I'm going to read a little bit more. I might not check in again tonight. I don't know. We'll see. We're just kind of playing things by ear right now. Okay, so update. I'm mad at Fury again. I was finally happy with him, and he went and made an idiot of himself in the biggest and worst way possible. Went and got his H, and I'm so mad at him. But Quinn and Blay, I ship it. They're cute. I would love to see that develop into more, but, you know, Quinn is I will have a Shallan one day, so it'll be interesting to see how that all goes. But yeah, that moment was actually quite sweet. I enjoyed that. John being very protective over Cormia was really sweet also. So I don't know what's going to happen with the Primal stuff. I really just don't know, because clearly Fury has mated with Cormia and she was willing. She's gone back over to the sanctuary and she's going to like renounce everything, and the frustration is real. So that's where I'm at. And yeah, I need to get back to it. All right. And I just finished Lover Enshrined. So the way J.R. Ward ended up handling the bag of tricks that she's got going in this novel, I really honestly enjoyed. Tora's back. That's going to be interesting. I wonder which book is his, because
he's gonna have to move on and love again. Like, it just would make sense to me with the way they've brought him back. So, John Michael and Zex are totally gonna be a thing. So in the next episode of this series, you'll definitely be hearing me fangirl about them because I'm already all over their chemistry. But yeah, the resolution for the whole Primal thing, like, I really like how that was handled because it didn't become a sexual thing. It became like a fatherly protective thing. And I really liked that choice because then he has his one person, his mate, his Shalon, but then he cares for the chosen and gives them opportunities that they wouldn't have had otherwise. But the introduction of Vicious's sister is going to be interesting in the series. I almost wonder if, like, golly, I don't even know. But she's going to play a big part. I can already tell. Just for who and for what, I don't know yet. But yes, what else is going on? Lash is on a power trip, as all the Lesters get. And I have a feeling that's going to linger till John Matthews' book. I think that's going to be resolved then. I don't think it's going to go beyond that because it's Lash. What else? All in all, I really liked it. I do like that some time has passed after the initial resolution so that we can see Fury continuing to get help for himself, to still go to his AA meetings, for lack of a better term. I don't even know what you'd really call them. His addict meetings. So you get to see him consistently doing that, consistently fighting the good fight and making the good choices. And yeah, it's just good. And I love that Bella's baby is safe and that she is safe and that they came to invite him to be part of it. I thought that was just really sweet. And I'm really excited and enjoying the series. So that is the end of this vlog. If you don't know, it's like 3 o'clock in the morning here because I just was enjoying it so much. I didn't want to put it down despite all my frustrations. Out of these two, I didn't end up with a new favorite. Right now, it's still Sadist's book. Sadist and Bella. Their book is my favorite so far. Though Butch and Marissa are a very close second. And then probably Vicious and then Fury. Because I enjoyed Vicious's book a little bit better than this one just because the communication frustration was real. But I do think the John Matthew book is going to be one of my favorites as well. So anyhow, I really am enjoying making this series and bringing you guys along with me as I experience the Black Dagger Brotherhood book series. So if you've made it to the end, make sure you leave a like and a comment and tell me what you're thinking about this series. And I basically heard that J.R. Ward planned out the first 10 novels and then everything after that is kind of an afterthought. So do you want to continue to see these reaction vlogs once I get past the 10th book? So there would be 2 more episodes of this. And I already have the next 2 books, so that'll probably be coming your way soon. But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at right now. And yes, tell me all the things down below. If you're not subscribed, why not? Go ahead and subscribe. And I'm getting rambly because it's 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm gonna go. Okay, bye-bye.